the base word of both these words?
Whole class lessons and small group instruction are two core elements of differentiated teaching and learning in the primary classroom.
Today I have a book called...
This portion of the program focuses on differentiating whole class instruction in ways that increase student participation and learning.
You are all working on poems.
You will also see how to differentiate with flexible, small group lessons to both challenge and support all learners.
Yesterday in math we had talked about measurement.
Whole class instruction plays a vital role in primary differentiated classrooms.
I often start instruction with a whole group mini lesson. It serves a couple purposes. First of all, it is an efficient way of getting across the big idea that you want to accomplish in your smaller groups. But what it also does is sends the message to children, hey, we're all going to be learning about whatever that essential content is that a teacher has identified. Essentially, all children feel as though they are equal in the same environment.
We're going to learn today something that I told you earlier called trading and borrowing.
When you have a whole group lesson, you have decided that this content is appropriate for all these children. But within that context, there will be differences that emerge.
There's all the clothes. Was Ashton's prediction right?
Incorporating a range of learning modalities into whole class lessons effectively addresses student differences and keeps all children engaged.
There are many ways that kids can take in the new learning. It might be music for one child that strikes a chord, or it might be whole body involvement, or it might be a picture. But we want to make sure that we offer a range of things during that whole group lesson so every child is engaged, motivated, and learning.
What would that mean? The uglier, the better. All right, I want you to share with your partner.
Students with strong verbal skills benefit from opportunities to process their thinking orally.
Ugly.
For the monsters to scare people.
Think, pair, share is often used to engage students in thinking out loud and give struggling learners a chance to hear classmates' ideas during whole class instruction.
I want you to think for a minute. What's a typical thing that a first grader likes to do? Think, and now share with your partner.
Teachers enhance this technique by asking students to remember and repeat what their partner said.
Christopher, what did Wayne have to say to you?
He said that it's typical for a first grader to play outside.
Wayne, tell me what Christopher had to say.
He said reading.
Reading. First graders do a lot of reading, don't they?
This simple variation of think, pair, share not only meets the needs of verbal learners, but also increases students' listening skills.
So you're going to put your heads together and your bottoms up. What does Clyde learn about being afraid? Go.
Heads together, bottoms up is an ideal discussion strategy that can be used in whole class lessons.
He's afraid of the dark.
As students discuss, the teacher leans in to listen and guide as needed.
Is it okay for him to be afraid of those things?
No.
You don't think so, Kian? Okay, I want you to talk for a minute because I got a couple people here that say, yeah, it's okay for him to be afraid of that. So think about that and talk about, is it okay for him to be afraid?
No.
Strategies that encourage students to talk and listen to each other benefit all learners.
Even the child who may not have had that original idea or thought or understanding may have gotten it from a partner that he or she just discussed, and you're going to see a lot more engagement and motivation in the classroom.
So, how many do we have in this circle?
4.
Everybody tell me.
4.
How many do we have in this circle?
1.
Come to the big circle.
5.
How many do we have all together?
5.
For many young children, movement is a must for learning.
I chose to do the movement with the body because it incorporated everybody in that lesson. They could get up and they could move. They could use their bodies in any way. I thought it was a natural way for them to connect with the lesson.
Isn't. We've got to get rid of one of the letters. And the one I don't hear, listen, isn't is what one?
Oh.
Say goodbye. Oh.
Goodbye.
movement can be incorporated into a variety of whole class lessons and a range of topics.
A little bit higher. You might find a flower.
Here, kindergarten students act out the process of seeds growing into flowers.
If you got the sun and if you got the rain, you can plant a little seed in the old back lane. Well,
Combining movement with music provides multiple pathways to learning.
a flower growing out from the stem, from the root, from the seed in the ground.
Students' understanding of how plants grow and change is enhanced through song and motion.
Put your hand up like this.
Teachers can also introduce new vocabulary using actions set to music.
Back up straight. Okay. When you do it like this, that's like drooping. You droop. You're falling down. You're feeling not much energy. Then you get pepped up again. Pepped up means you get energized. In June, I saw a lovely group of roses all begin to droop.
We use a lot of music. It's rhythm and language. Kindergartners move naturally. It's what they do. And it's just another way of incorporating what you're trying to teach to them.
With rice. Nice.
This word also has 3 letters that come.
For tactile learners, hands-on experiences are an essential element of whole group lessons.
Okay, tell me the 3 letters that come.
Incorporating whiteboards and markers and having students create their own representations are simple ways to actively engage young learners.
Okay, she made stick people, and then how did you show shoes?
I just put little circles on their feet.
Okay, so she made stick people. 1, 2. Is her way okay? Yeah, sure it is. Now, talk in your groups and see if you can figure out how many shoes there were all together. Count the bunnies out of doors, doing all their farming chores. At the harvest they will dine, and 3 times 3 will total 9.
To help visual learners get the most from instruction, primary teachers often use picture books and a variety of graphic organizers during whole group lessons.
So bumps got bigger.
Visuals are an important aspect of teaching, especially with students who do better when they can see what it is we're talking about, where they can actually have sort of help developing that picture in their heads.
Ready to eat?
Yeah.
By combining pictures from the story with partner sharing and a graphic organizer for guiding comprehension, this first grade teacher includes multiple modalities and opportunities for learning.
Teachers can differentiate during whole group instruction in a variety of ways.
We talk about having different ways to get information into the brain. If all I do is talk to them, then it's only going in one way, in their ears. And a lot of our kids aren't auditory learners. If I just show it to them, then sometimes they get it, if they're a visual learner. But if they get a chance to move things around, build things, count things, stuff like that, and listen to the conversation at the same time, then it gets stuck in their brain a little bit faster, a little bit better, and there's more hooks inside their brain to hang tomorrow's lesson on.
I would like you to use your rulers.
Checking students' understanding during whole class lessons plays an important role in differentiated instruction.
It's a way for teachers to adapt, monitor the instruction that's going to come afterwards. During whole group instruction, teachers can find out what the children are understanding through a myriad of ways.
Whiteboards, exit cards, ThinkPads, and 3-2-1 summaries are ideally suited for quickly assessing individual students' understanding during whole class lessons.
We might have a whiteboard that all children write a response and then show the teacher. What is the base word of both these words? Just the base word.
Whiteboards free students from pencil and paper and appeal to a wide variety of learners. And perhaps best of all, they enable teachers to assess all students' understanding at a glance.
Those are the endings. Base word.
Boys and girls, we were working an awful lot on doing count bys. When we looked at our numbers over here, we've been working on counting by 2s, and sometimes we count by 5s and 10s. I'm going to have you do an exit card with me today. Exit cards are a really easy way to find out which children know what and who doesn't. If you have them put it down on paper, then you really can tell who has a skill and who doesn't. I simply use a very generic, simple form that says exit card, and the kids fill in what exactly it is I'm asking them. When I'm evaluating them, I can make a pile of this child has it and this child doesn't, and the ones that don't have it then are the ones that I can easily pull aside and give them an additional assistance with their work.
Exit cards are a wonderful device for differentiated instruction. It's a monitoring device. It can help you as a teacher have kids look backward. What is it I learned? It can help you as a teacher to look forward. What do the kids still have a question about? What do you need to do in the future to help the children with the understanding? I would like you to use your rulers, and I would like you to measure your highlighter to the nearest ½ inch, whatever that means to you. Write your answer on your ThinkPad and keep it covered till I come through and see.
One of the simplest whole group assessment tools is the sticky note ThinkPad.
ThinkPads are a wonderful tool that children can use.
Each child keeps a sticky note ThinkPad on hand. As they jot down their answers, the teacher checks students' knowledge to help her decide how to proceed with the lesson.
You're going to know, kids, oh, this child has it, this child doesn't. And of course, that's where your instruction is going to be modified. Based upon what I'm seeing, based upon what I'm hearing, what is then going to happen? Am I going to meet with a couple kids afterwards, send the rest off to do an activity? Will I adjust it for somebody who's gotten it so quickly and find a way to bump that up? I'd like to make sure that you have a clear understanding of what the chapter was about. So I'm going to ask you to do a 3-2-1 summary. 3-2-1 summarization for me in the classroom happens 2 ways. It could happen after I've taught the children a process for doing something, such as writing workshop. It can also be a way to find out what kids have learned from a particular unit or a chapter.
At the end of a chapter on how plants grow and change, students complete a 3-2-1 summary.
The 3 stands for 3 things that you've learned. The children can write down 2 comments, any comments they have about the unit or about the process. And 1 is question. What is a question you still have about the process that we put into place, or a question you have about the content that we've learned? Once I read their 3-2-1 summarization, it helps me to guide what types of modifications I can put into place to help the children understand the essential content that I'd like them to have for the unit.
Ready to peek?
Including a variety of learning modalities and ongoing assessments within whole class lessons helps teachers effectively differentiate instruction and learning.